Morning with Damon Cassidy, right? Damon Cassidy about to break down why Gen Z then gave up on having kids or being parents. Now, a few reactions ago, I reacted on the fact that Gen Z or millennials actually are realizing why they have gone ghost mode towards their parents, right, or towards people that have given birth to them. You know what I'm saying? They've been ghosting parents and da 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 things like that. I don't know. This might be the same sense, but from the opposite direction, right? From the person who chooses not to have the kid. You know what I'm saying? Sticking with that decision instead of the kid regretting being born. Hey, it's pretty janky out here. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty janky out here in these younger generations and their minds and what. Let me say we. You know what I'm saying? Wait, let me include myself. I'm part of this stuff, bro. You know what I'm saying? So now, this narrative right here. I mean, I've seen it from time to time. You know what I'm saying? The fact that the younger generations are not considering being parents themselves. You know what I mean? I'm just hoping for like some more clarity on the subject matter. I don't know about y'all. We also, on the part 2 of it, we got, Gen Z. Yes, Gen Z. Gen Z thinking that, yeah, even the declining birth rate is none of their issue, right? It's none of their problem. Hey, I'm mad curious, man. Let's see.
Sweet pea till I humble me from the sea, yeah. Mercurial blood vessels, my skin do shine. The son of the God and death in my home is disguised. I don't argue when niggas you pay no man. Hurry pack on you boys, I ain't telling no lie. Yeah, lie.
Right. Why can y'all see this? Why the declining birth rate is none of Gen Z's business. Ooh, look at that. What? Sassy ass Ashley Ambers. Okay, you're supposed to be sassy. You're a woman, right? Okay, yeah. Nah, just the nails emoji, right? The nails emoji threw me off just a little bit though. Yeah, just a little bit. Hey, it is what it is. Yeah, Ashley Ambers is the channel, right? Down why the declining birth rate got nothing to do with no Gen Z, bruh.
The reason the U.S. birth rate is at an all-time low is because feminism lied to women and told them that having babies is bad, that babies themselves are a burden. But without God, we worship a false idol. It's usually materialism or worship of self.
So is it the great disillusionment? I feel like with this one, okay, the first part, right? The first part where Damon, yeah, my boy Damon Cassidy, Damon Cassidy, he was breaking down, well, it was just the general scope of things. I feel like with this one, it may just be the intro, you know what I'm saying, but we are zoomed into the fact that it's, it's the females experiencing the great disillusionment, right? The fact that, being the career woman, being the Miss Independent, all of that kind of thing. And also the music had something to do with that kind of, illusionment or disillusion, like whatever the word I'm looking for is, right? It's the music, the R&B. Remember that Neo song, Miss Independent, yeah. And whenever the best belief she got it. What? No, she don't. She clearly realizes she don't got that. No. Y'all done enabled these females to be on some, I don't know, man. Y'all probably thought it was sustainable, bro. Like, let me not even put that much blame on y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? In the day, human beings, at a certain point, you was impressionable. It is what it is, man. But, the music got a whole, like, big role to play with all that.
No one's having kids. Do you know how hard you need to abuse a mammal to make them not have children?
It costs £46.62 to stand outside and do nothing on a good day.
People our age can barely afford to live for themselves.
I can't pay my rent.
Having a child in this
Because, okay, look, my whole POV, even in gaining your own independence, right? Everybody, it's part of everybody's journey. You're gonna get to a point where you need to just like fend for yourself. I feel like it comes, like the whole concept of even becoming a parent eventually, you gotta be able to, you know what I'm saying, like provide that to your own self, be your own parent. Like you gotta be able to play that role for your own self. You understand what I'm saying? So being consistent in like feeding yourself when it's necessary. I feel like it's trivial, surface level things like that, bruh. Like a whole lot of people, you know what I'm saying, are infatuated with the whole putting 80-hour work weeks, yo, grind, grind, grind. They be forgetting to freaking feed themselves and take showers. Like, what is up with that? And then you want to go become a parent, you want to go jump into that, rush into that. Like, yo, get these basics right first, bro. Like, what are you wearing, first of all? Like, what is that? No, take a look. Like, take a second. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you wearing, bro? You know damn well it's freezing cold outside, bro. Like, and you got them short shorts on. Lady, what's up? You want to go take care of a baby, bro? Bro, simple mathematics. 1 + 1 = 2 type shit. You know what I'm saying? You know you don't got enough for that advice right now. And you still want to go max out on, like, what's up, bro? You want to go gamble your last 50? What you gonna eat, dog? You don't even, like, your electricity bill is just, like, on your ass. You know that. You know you functioning off of just grace electricity, dog. Your landlord had to make some, you know, pull some strings for you to just, like, keep afloat. Come on, bro. Like, decision making, people. You know what I mean? Like, that's my whole thing. Like, be able to parent your own self, dog. Be able to take full responsibility of your own self. That should be one of the indicators. Like, yo, okay, I'm ready. Beyond just materialistically and financial capacity, right? Just decision making, bro.
Economy literally means you get a box of diapers and one bag for $185.
I don't want to have kids.
Oh, the baby's reversing, going back into the womb. That's people just realize the nature of each other, like true colors wise, right? Shout out the pandemic, you know what I'm saying, for making people realize that, you know what, I think I had a kid with a monster. Facts. Like, yo, I had a kid with a monster. I'm seeing this man right, I'm seeing this woman right. This is crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, people be realizing that, people done been realized that off of the splash of, you know, the pandemic and stuff like that. And they like, damn, bro, like, maybe it's a more realer approach. Like, people are seeing the realer approach in, like, having babies. They're being reluctant because, you know what I'm saying, the promise of somebody promising you or love bombing you, promising you, like, the world and stuff like that, just to, you know, just to reach post-nut clarity. And now the baby's here, and now it's like, damn, why did I do this with you, though? You know what I'm saying? I feel like, shout out the pandemic for, you know, bringing that kind of realization in people's sense of, yeah, in people's senses, man. Come on.
Don't know what to tell you. Hope it works out for you.
Damn.
Welcome to the year 2060, where the impacts of Gen Z's resistance to parenthood are starting to unfold. Job postings sit stagnant for months, hospitals and care homes are overflowing with patients, and social programs, pensions, and public services that rely on a steady stream of workers and taxpayers are under pressure. All because the up-and-coming generation is too small to support the workforce. Essentially, Gen Z's choice to go child-free wasn't just them keeping their peace. No, they inevitably reshaped the capacity of society itself, putting our countries at risk of total collapse. At least, that's what the headlines are saying. Between Elon Musk calling it one of the biggest risks to civilization, and Fox News crying out that this isn't just a lifestyle choice by Gen Z, it's a looming demographic crisis for the country, and a crisis of Gen X parents awaiting grandkids. Priorities, I guess. Anyway, let me tell you, something about all this feels very fishy. Like, you're telling me that it comes down to this one generation to repopulate, otherwise we're all screwed?
Yeah.
I mean, between the tech advancements we're seeing and the often overlooked benefits of a smaller population, it just doesn't seem like that big of a deal that they aren't having kids. And listen, if you don't already know, I am a mother of 2 little boys and a big advocate for having kids. They are my pride and joy, as cheesy as it is. That doesn't mean that everyone should have them, especially in today's day and age. Like, you're actually telling people to bring kids into the same world as the Epstein files.
Oh my god, don't. Why are you saying it like Ashley? Why are you saying it like that, bruh? Damn. No, no. Ashley, take that back now.
choice. But that's what we're going to dissect today, not the Epstein files, dear God.
Yeah, okay, cool.
We're scared. Me too.
But why Gen Z is going child-free, the benefits society may gain because of it, and why it might not matter either way.
Doesn't matter. Follow the money. Follow the money. Follow
The
the
spark for this video came about because I keep hearing people online spreading this narrative that Gen Z is selfish for not having kids, even with everything that's going on in the world. But it is true that roughly 39% of Gen Z said that they had delayed having a child because of the current economic climate, while only 36% of millennials said the same.
Well, honey, with the bonus I made this year, looks like we got a good head start in our kids' college fund. Future is bright.
Just bright. What?
Hey chat, how far away from a nuclear bomb do you have to be to survive the blast radius?
Hey, that's a serious one.
To lay the groundwork for
Yeah,
this, let's
yo, you got ChatGPT. Yo, tweaking. Hey, that's a serious one, buddy. Hey, you sure you don't want to get some sleep there, buddy? Yo, you are typing some diabolical things on the search bar, brother. Yo, get some rest, brother. Yo, stop it. Get some help. Yo, that must be like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. vibes, dog. Crazy.
Let's go through all the hurdles Gen Z has to jump through to even consider parenthood. For one, we have to mention housing, of course.
This 2-bed, 1-bath house has insane aura. What do you do for work?
Insane aura?
AI brain rot YouTube shorts.
Does that pay good?
Which I realize we did just talk about a couple
Facts.
of videos ago, but we haven't yet discussed how it pertains to parenthood. Because housing isn't just a nice to have, it plays a role in the way people grow their families. While yes, of course you can have kids as a renter, it does make some aspects harder. Because sure, it's all fine and dandy to live under the reign of a landlord when you're childless, and the flexibility of life can even be a perk, but throwing kids into the mix means that you're subjecting them to that unpredictability. Obviously, not an end-all be-all. A lot of people have kids in rentals, but it's worth noting that most people prefer the stability of homeownership when they have kids, knowing that you can't just be kicked out at any point. On top of that, rentals have just gotten so expensive that many people feel limited in their...
Landlords have gone crazier and crazier. They've gotten more erratic. Yo, landlords are younger. You know what I'm saying? Meaning landlords are like young wild bucks now. You know what I'm saying? Landlords are on a whole bunch of drugs and things. Like, landlords are crazier, bro. Landlords have less and less patience. You know what I mean? The landlord market has gotten to a point where, like, the original first wave establishers of the property, you know what I'm saying? The establishers of that have now given it over to the younger generation that, like, doesn't give up that much about, you know what I'm saying, the operations. They didn't initiate things. They don't know what it takes. You know what I'm saying? So, but then they've inherited that. So they're the new landlords. Landlords are just like kind of grown weirder, I think, maybe. Like, it's a blessing if you got like a nice landlord. You know? My shit kind of pretty smooth, right? Pretty decent. Man. The caretaker just be out of whack, bruh, sometimes. The caretaker just be out of... You know when a caretaker be like, yo, bro, I don't understand why you don't even be coming outside drink with us. And so you be like, what? Nigga, I ain't here to drink with you. So other people are just like, you know what I'm saying? Bro, just out of touch, bro. I'm not here to drink with you, nigga. You like the landlord's little brother, bro. Like, boom. Like, you know what I'm saying? Watch out, bro. And then now, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like, yo, yeah, you could do favors. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, bro. Like, yo, let's keep our shit straight. Like, I just... You know what I'm saying? Because I pride myself in being one of those tenants. Like, yo, my shit, like, never late, never delayed. Saying straight.
Their smaller spaces at record high rental rates. Across the US, the average rent for a studio apartment listed on apartments.com in October was $1,700 a month, and a 2-bedroom space had an average rent of $1,900 per month. And that's just the average, right? When looking at popular cities, the rent gets quite atrocious. Like, for $2,000, you can get an average of 267 square feet in New York City. Nice. So even if you want kids, you probably feel limited because you're priced out out of moving into a bigger space. Because again, while you can have 4 kids sharing one room in a 2-bedroom apartment, most people just don't want to do that, as it adds so much more stress trying to juggle that many kids and all their separate sleep needs in one room.
You soaked his underwear in meat.
I have 2 kids in one room, and let me tell you, it's not that easy.
What about the
So that's
dozen?
housing, as we know, a dumpster fire.
Oh, that was a classic ass movie. Hey, bro, I remember. Funny, boy.
Moving on to groceries, the cost of food at home has climbed 28.3% since January 2020, which I think a lot of people would say is conservative. There's even stories online of people finding old receipts showing that it's more like a 100% increase. And the thing is, that gets expensive very quickly when you start adding more mouths to feed in your household, because as much as you can cut costs in parenthood by thrifting clothes and taking all the hand-me-down gear and shopping sales for diapers, at the end of the day, these are hungry buggers, and you're not allowed to not feed them.
Starving
Food costs
buggers.
make up the second largest expense to raise a child at 18%. There are many factors that can influence this expense: choosing to eat more healthily, purchasing formula for babies, your child's age, eating at home versus eating out, and more. But on average, you can expect to pay around $3,377 each year on food. So for a family with 2 kids, that's an extra $560 a month on groceries alone. And that's been just a big deterrent for people deciding to have kids or more kids, because when your toddler is eating the equivalent of 1 year's retirement savings in blueberries every week, you start to question whether you can afford this.
Oh gosh. I mean, I think it's probably going to be something like, I don't know, at least $600 billion.
And I'm being so for real between all the jokes, because while you can cut costs of groceries, there's only so much you can do before you start sacrificing on quality. I mean, I only have 2 little boys, but I dread the day when they're teenagers and start raiding the cupboards every week. I should honestly start saving for that.
Yeah, they start getting on that za, smoking all that weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything's finna disappear. All groceries. Everything that's a grocery. Everything finna disappear. You're asking yourself, wait, why is the toilet paper going? Like, where's the toilet paper going? Why is it going so, like, you don't even know? Like, what? Nah, y'all 12 years old, y'all gotta go get your own spot. Facts, nah.
Now that you mention it, I'd like to share some firsthand insight from Gen Z. Alice Jackson, aged 23, says here, even as someone who frequently romanticized the idea of being an adult, I'm probably more likely to fly to the moon than to have children at the age of 23 or 25 or 28 for that matter. And not because I had to call my mom yesterday to ask how to turn up the heating in my rented flat. The cost of living crisis has me gawking at the price of yogurt, let alone the price of childcare. Graduate jobs are few and far between, and the impossibility of owning a home large enough for a child to live in verges on comical. As Alice mentioned, we do need to talk about childcare and the support system Gen Z has awaiting them in parenthood, which, as it turns out, isn't looking good. All Gen Z has to do is look over at their millennial role models to see that most of them are just toughing it out on their own with no village in sight. As said by this millennial parent, after talking with some of my friends, I realized I wasn't alone. Many of us shared similar experiences of feeling overwhelmed and undersupported. We laughed at how we had imagined our parents, once they became grandparents, would step in with open arms, offering help. And sure, some people are still getting that kind of support from their parents, but for many of us, it seemed like our parents were wrapped up in their own lives, busy with work or enjoying their retirement.
I love when boomer grandparents are like, why don't you come visit us more often? You know, we're here, we're waiting for you, we got the space. Yo, you're retired. What the hell are you doing? Come to us, no.
This so-called grandparent epidemic is a new problem for young generation.
No, I feel like you see that epidemic, bro. Like, yo, it's so sad, bro, because, you know, it's like when these boomers, like, had the chance to actually be present people in their their kids' lives, you know what I'm saying, be present parents, they didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? They had to go work. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the economy was booming, so it did encourage for that, but you still had to go work. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not as intensely, but you still had to go work, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? So now, you going out to work, yes, you are cutting away valuable time, you know, to bond with your kid or whatever. So, obviously now, the cycle has to just, like, come full circle to be like, yo, now I'm retired. Yo, you, my kid, you having your kids now. I wasn't present in your life, so please trust me with your kid now. Please, now. Now, bring them now. to me, please. Let me stop.
Where it was once expected that grandparents would step in, now that support is a rare luxury. Which, to be fair, isn't anyone's fault in particular. Rather, there's a conglomeration of factors pulling family members apart, between the rise in family estrangement as more Gen Z set healthy boundaries, the high cost of living forcing young people to move further away to more affordable areas, and also just the fact that inflation affects older populations as well. Many of them are forced to work longer than they'd like, meaning that even if they want to be involved with their grandkids, their time and availability is limited. Many of today's grandparents, especially those of millennials and younger Gen Xers, are still deep in their own careers. They're not the relaxed, retired grandparents of the past. Instead, they're juggling jobs, mortgages, and rising living costs just like the rest of us. Many grandparents today don't have the luxury of early retirement or the financial stability their own parents may have enjoyed. It all adds up to the fact that many of Gen Z, if they choose to have kids, will be left to figure out childcare on their own. And when the only option is for one parent to give their entire year's salary over to a daycare facility, as childcare costs in the United States range from under $8,000 annually in Mississippi up to $24,000 in Massachusetts. Massachusetts. You know what I'm saying? I'm Canadian. I never say that word. Now, even after all this, I'm sure many people will still think, well, anyone can make it work and these are just excuses to not have kids. And to that I say, yes, you can have a good life on low income, but knowingly giving your child a stressful life isn't a great option. I just heard a Gen Z say online, I don't want to have kids just so they can starve with me. And I don't think you can argue with that.
Amazing news, everyone.
That's
We
crazy,
are the richest country in the history of the world. Yeah, so we've heard. Can we have healthcare? No, that would never work. Can we have affordable housing? Why would we do that when there's private equity? What about public transportation? Well, think of the auto industry. Come on. Can we have childcare and parental leave? No, we're gonna need you to get back to work. Can we raise the minimum wage? You already get $7 an hour. Don't be so greedy.
But at the end of the day, the saddest part of all of this is that a lot of Gen Zers do want...
It's just people that even like, oh my god, they so ignorant. They live within their own bubble. You see the whole bubble living? People living within their own bubble, bro. Like, you know, having these elites, these elitists, these politicians, you know what I'm saying? You know, that be living good and even the bulk of these resources that people actually need, you know what I mean? Money wise too. It's like they're so out of touch, bro. Obviously they only come out to like campaign just to, you know, set their agendas and set their record straight. I'm saying, receive whatever votes from the people, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever societal power, muscle, go grow that and then get back hibernating within their own, you know what I'm saying, comfortable places, bruh. Where it's like, yo, it's necessary that people have these you know, things like healthcare, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's necessary. There's reasons why then they would like their wages to like also increase. Thank you very much. You know what I'm saying? What ridiculousness is this? But it's like, yo, there'll always be this disconnect, dog. You know what I mean? For as long as people live this way, facts.
Kids and wish they had the resources to do so. Among Gen Z, just 1 in 10 has had a baby by the age of 23. That's despite the fact that 61% of Gen Zs say they'd like to have children in the future. So I would argue that Gen Z isn't being selfish at all. In fact, they may be the first generation to actually think things through before just jumping into having kids.
Yeah.
But it's not all about money. Gen Z is also increasingly prioritizing their overall wellness when making major life decisions. No previous generation has cared so much about their mental health, physical fitness, and work-life balance. Resonates just 2 minutes. They're subscription purchases.
Maybe this isn't all bad. What are you talking about right now, Amber?
Okay, so Gen Z isn't having kids, and all the headlines are screaming about the doom this will bring. But it might not be as catastrophic as they make it out to be, because it's just not as simple as the population will collapse, especially when there's more players in the game. But let's get into those concerns. So to start, one of the biggest problems with the declining birth rate is the impact on the job market and overall productivity.
The fundamental constraint is labor. There are not enough people. I can't emphasize this enough. There are not enough people.
This is because when there aren't enough people to fill jobs, entire industries can shut down, or in critical areas.
Yeah, and if entire industries shut down, obviously this motherfucker Elon Musk is nervous as a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Of course he's gonna be nervous, bro, because it's less sales for his company and less sales for his interest. It's less profit on his end. You know what I'm saying? So it is tricky business when like maybe a billionaire sees a decline in birth rate. You know what I'm saying? That's less workforce for him and his operations out in the world. You know what I'm saying? For families, like maybe, you know, that's why the agendas of the Rothschilds was to just like fill the earth, bruh. You know what I mean? Because we need as many human resource as we can to just like even keep what makes our family name alive. You know what I mean? So it's like, of course, a billionaire, like somebody who's part of the top 1%, dog. Like y'all, it's nerve-wracking for y'all to see this birth rate decline.
As remaining workers become overwhelmed and productivity suffers. As said here, if trends continue on their present path, demographers warn there won't be enough people to work to support society. The extreme labor shortages would lead to stagnation, poverty, and ultimately, in the most dire scenarios, the collapse of civilization itself.
Damn.
Again, a little extreme if you ask me, but I will allow it given the nature of my channel. Along with that, there's the problem of the aging population not receiving the care they need, because as generations reach retirement age, the next generation becomes responsible to care for that older population. And so when Gen Z goes child-free, we won't have anyone to take on these essential roles. Only there was an alternative to humans doing all that work.
I feel like humans are just gonna, they're gonna feel an obligation to one another, because now if Gen Z, they grow older and they now need this care, like, post their lives, so to speak. Now they're senior citizens, right? Hey, yo, Gen Alpha, bruh. Where the fuck is Gen Alpha when you need them? You know what I'm saying? Gen Alpha will be... Because now, okay, my train of thought is that maybe Gen Alpha might follow in the same footsteps, be like, yo, they see this example. You know what I'm saying? They see this trail that's been blazed, right? Alright, cool, we following this. They also don't have no kids. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be the youngins that are just like chilling around. They're gonna need some shit to do. I'm not gonna lie, they're gonna need some shit to do. Take care of Gen Z. Y'all see they getting old, take care of the senior citizens. Goddamn, this is the life y'all chose. What y'all talking about right now? Y'all just chilling. Y'all ain't got nothing to do anyway. Nah, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm bugging. You know what I'm saying? But yo, it's like, it's only natural. Unless something really happens that transforms the whole trajectory of like this whole thing, right? This whole motion. Has Gen Alpha convinced that, yo, let's pick up this birth rate again, and you know what I'm saying? Because at that point it's like, yo, okay, Gen Alpha will be so busy, as they should, raising their own young to be taking care of Gen Z, bruh. So at that point, like, yeah, if I'm Gen Z, I'm mad nervous. But like, for as long as, people are assuming that, yo, things will naturally progress this way onwards, going on, bleeding on to the next generation, yo, there's nothing to worry about. Gen Alpha will take care of Gen Z, goddamn, their old age and shit. And then what? Gen Beta, oh, look at that. Gen Beta is gonna take care of Gen Alpha in their old age. It's just gonna go on, right?
Oh wait, there is AI. AI has already come to the rescue.
Oh, AI though. Oh, okay. Look. I did not expect that one to come, right? But before we get into that one, though, let's do a little quick word from the spawn. It's crazy. Okay, talk about it.
My sibling, just because your birth was a miracle. Even my sisters know that I'm cynical. Yeah, I know that I'm a hard one to deal with. Fighting with no weapon, I'm a carved one to kill with. Marching with no movement, I'm a start one to heal with. I'm just mad reactive, but my heart ain't with the drill shit. Can't wait to grow out of this revenge, sweet as honey and peaches.